Hello. I'm sorry I have been missing for a long time. I wasn't very well. I was very ill, in fact, to give any lectures or anything. But we are going to start with a big gusto from now onwards and quickly finish off everything that you have to do. So, today, what we are going to talk about is inflation. And when we talk about inflation, you have heard that word a lot of times, right? But to pinpoint as to what exactly you would call inflation is something which is very important to understand. So let me give you an example. Let's assume that the price of the Bata shoes that you buy has suddenly increased by almost 20%. And you say, my God, this is too much of increase. Um, the question is, would the economy call it inflation? No other prices have increased, only the price of Bata shoes. No, that won't be inflation. Okay, prices of property in Bangalore increasing, and increasing not because of anything else, but lot of migrants going to Bangalore to take up the IT jobs. The property market heats up, and simple demand and supply. The demand has gone up, and the prices go up. So you cannot say that there is inflation in Indian economy because the property prices have gone up in Bangalore because of the influx of IT workers. So what is inflation? Inflation is general rise in price level of goods and services in a nation. Okay, note, I'm not saying in all goods and services. I'm saying general rise. So you see, generally, wherever you go, you find that the prices have increased somewhat. That is general increase. So general increase in price level of goods and services. So it's not all the goods and services which are being produced or sold in the nation, but a lot of them, enough for you to notice, enough for you to say कि महंगाई आ गई है, that it is now inflation time. Okay, so general rise in price of goods and services. There is another definition which is, according to me, a far better definition, although the importance of it you will realize only after we go to the chapter of origin of money. You would not understand it so much right now, but it is too much money chasing too few goods. So inflation happens when there is a lot of money for whatever reasons in the economy, and the number of goods are very small. So either the money has increased, the money supply has increased, or the goods have decreased. Whatever it is, too much money chasing too few goods. Okay, and as I said, the depth of this information is something which will come to you far more as we go and understand economics better later. Okay? But remember this definition, because this is an extremely important definition of inflation. Okay, so inflation is, as I said, general rise in the prices. So if the prices are increasing by, say, 1%, 2%, then it is called mild inflation. There is a fancy term for it which hardly anybody uses. It's called creeping inflation. But not many people use that term. Everybody says mild inflation. Mild inflation is actually good for the economy because, say, you are earning something, and your earning goes up every year by 1% or 2% or 3%, you feel ki chalo, something is happening with my salary. Actually, nothing is happening, because on one side your salary is increasing, on the other side the cost of the goods that you buy with it is also increasing. You don't have any gain at all, but you're happy. Yes. So just like that, if you're a producer and you see that the prices are increasing by even if 2%, at least you're getting some more profits. So you're happy. Mild inflation makes people happy. And when it makes people happy, people do more of what they do. So I consume more because I feel I have more income. I produce more because I feel that I get more profits. So that mental nice effect, you know. So mild inflation is something which a lot of people even say is desirable. Good, good for economy. Go for it. Inflation is good. Mild inflation, not all inflations. Mild inflation is good. Okay. Then there is inflation which is between 3% to 10%. The inflation which is between 3% to 10% is called moderate inflation. It is something to be slightly worried about, but not overly worried about. But you need to take some measures so that it does not go out of hands. It should not go out of control. It's kind of a warning bell. So you have to be careful. When you see your inflation rising to that level, you say that let's do something so that this comes down. Okay. So moderate inflation, 3 to 10%. The fancy term for it is walking inflation, creeping inflation, and walking inflation. Nobody uses these terms. But since it is there in the textbook, I'm just telling you. Okay. The third type of inflation is what is called the double digit inflation. So now inflation has entered into the realm of more than 10%. When that happens, you all notice it, all of you. And it is not even something that you won't complain about. You will start complaining about it because now it starts hurting. It starts hurting your pocket. Everywhere you go, prices have increased. It's not a nice feeling. And then that is the time you realize that your salaries have not increased that much and your purchasing power is coming down and you're going to complain. That is high inflation. High inflation is the double digit inflation. So you have to be careful and very careful. You have to take immediate measures to control it because this is something which now can start affecting your economy negatively. Because now people will say that I don't know whether the prices are going to remain the same or not. They'll start hoarding. So when they start hoarding the goods, naturally the goods will become short in supply because people are hoarding everything. When goods become short in supply and the demand remains the same, so the prices will increase, which is what is inflation. So that is the consumer's behavior. As far as the producer is concerned, the producer will say all the costs are going up, which means that my profits are coming down, which means that either I don't want to employ people or I am going to jack up my prices like anything. And that means I might sell even lesser also. So I'm not very secure about future. Producers are not happy. Consumers are not happy. They all come on the roads and they protest. Governments are not happy. Inflation makes nobody happy. High inflation is something which is in the, I think, 1970s. There was, I forget the name of the movie, but there was a song, मनोज कुमार का कोई मूवी था, बाकी कुछ बचा तो महंगाई मार गई. So this Mehgai is something which had become a very, very major problem in 1970s. I don't have time to go through the entire reason as to why in 1970s India went through such high inflation rates, but India did. And it was very, very difficult for people to survive with that, you know. The poor people would not even be able to afford the basic goods. The middle class would find that the salary is not enough to meet their expenses. Everywhere, misery, problems, but not that many. So if you want to see what are the major problems, then let me just open one file which you must see. I'm going to show it to you. It is basically something which did not happen with India. This is something which happened somewhere abroad. And One of them that I'm going to tell you about is considered as a classic case of inflation. Okay, a classic case of inflation. So everybody for many, many years have been studying that. And the second one that I'm going to talk to you about is a very recent one. And so first, let me start with the recent case. So the recent case is that of Venezuela. You've heard the name? If you haven't, just Google it. And just Google Venezuelan inflation. It has been happening, I think, since last 6 years or something. And I told you that India has entered into double-digit inflation, and India was very miserable, and people were complaining a lot about it. There were shows on protests on the road and whatnot. Okay, so inflation in Venezuela, 181% in 2015, then 800% in 2016, 4,000% in 2017, 17 lakh percent in 2018, 17 lakh percent. Can you even imagine a braid costing 17 lakh rupees? I mean, that is the kind of inflation which is called the hyperinflation. It ruins, it completely ruins you. And you know, the indication of that ruin, when I say it ruins you, the indication of that is that on an average, the in last 2 or 3 years, the entire Venezuelan population has lost on an average 10 kgs. 10 किलो वजन कम हो गया है हर एक इंसान का, हर एक इंसान. That is the kind of hunger, that is the kind of misery, that is what is the deadly effect of hyperinflation. So let me show you some photographs, as I said, that I wanted to show you so that you understand what I mean to say. So you see this entire stack of currency notes over here. This is how much a one banana costs. This is, you have to take this much money to the shop to buy one piece of banana. And I want to show you one more. This is why there is inflation, because they have no food supply. They have no supply of almost good, any good which is needed for living. They don't have supply for that. Their shelves are completely empty. And people rush to this shop if they come to know that even so many goods are available, just so many. And then you would have hundreds of buyers wanting to grab this, just a dozen or two of goods. This is horrible. This is the worst thing that can happen to a nation. And Venezuela is still going through it. Although since last, I think 1 year or something, they have been able to reduce it. But that story we will come to later if I have time. But this is just for you to understand. And the other case, as I told you, is the classic case of hyperinflation that the world saw for the first time. And this was the case of Germany after it lost in the First World War. So we are talking about 1914 or something like that. Okay. So that time, the German government had to meet the expenses of war, and it did not have any money because everything was destroyed in war. So they started printing money. Now, how does one print money, and how does uh, that can happen? How is that possible? Is something I will be teaching you in the next lecture when I talk to you about origin of money. Right now, just take it from me that the governments can print as much money as they want. And when the government of Germany started printing money left, right, and center, there was too much money that was floating in the economy, but there was no product because this money was not earned. This money was just printed. There was no produce because war had destroyed everything. And then what happened? I'll show you. You see this lady over here? And you see that these are the currency notes. There is this whole heap of currency notes out here. And you see, this is a fireplace. There was no fuel. They did not have money to buy fuel, and France had taken away their coal fields. So they did not have any coal. So now what to do? You take your currency notes, you burn them, and you survive through the winter with that. You see the misery. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Um, yeah, look at this gentleman. He has come to buy a loaf of bread. And look how much money he needed to buy that loaf of bread. So, as far as Venezuela is concerned, it happened. The president of Venezuela says that it happened because USA had put up sanctions, and so they did not supply them the goods, the food, and everything, and that is the reason hyperinflation happened. Um, the story is far tougher and far more complex than that. But as I said, I don't think I would have time to tell you that, and I don't even think that you understand economics so much to be able to understand the nitty-gritty of what exactly is happening in Venezuela. But just understand that it was because of the governmental policies and also the government printing lots of notes even in the regime of Venezuela, and that's why the inflation went out of hands. As far as Germany was concerned, as I told you, it was mainly just this printing of notes without any production to support it. So the money was floating around more and more and more. There was no production because war had destroyed everything, no supply. And when there is no supply and the demand is increasing, you know at least this much, the price keeps increasing and increasing and increasing. So all that I wanted to establish in this lecture was that inflation can be good if it is mild inflation, and as I told you, people actually love it. But when it comes to the hyperinflation, it can be dangerous. It can take your lives. It can be extremely miserable for the population. That's what I wanted to tell you about inflation in this lecture. And in the next lecture, we will look at the causes of inflation. So we'll stop here right now. And